Welcome to Creed. Today we are going to continue with our previous session on trusting God to fight our battles for us. We were told of how the Philistines and the Israelites were at war, and David was told by his father Jesse to go and bring food to his brothers in the camp. David was on time because God wanted him to be there on time. We understand that everybody might have given up. But David, despite being a young boy, he never had that in mind because he knew the kind of God that he was serving. When you're faced with hard situations, don't look at the situation. Just remember the kind of God that you are serving. Kindly like and subscribe to this channel so that we can be able to be blessed together. In our previous episode, we read the Bible from the book of 1 Samuel 17, and we read from verse 1 up to 31. Today we are going to read from verse 32 up to 50, and we will also read it in portions with simpler explanations as we proceed. And the Bible says, David said to Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." Saul replied, "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David said to Saul, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God. The God who rescued me from the power of the lion and the power of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." We are told after word came to Saul about what David was saying, he sent for David. And when David came to Saul, he had to talk to him. It's like he was interviewing him and saying, why does he have so much courage? Same as the job interview that you had. When you go there, they're asking you for your experience and all that. I feel under this situation, Saul was interviewing David in order to see if he was qualified to be able to face this Philistine. In many job interviews, when you go, they will ask you about your previous experiences in order for them to see if you can be able to cope with the situation at hand. And David was quick to tell Saul about his experiences that he had in the field. He told Saul that he has been able to kill lions and bears, and this Philistine will be no match for him. He had confidence that the Lord who rescued him from the power of the lion and the power of the bear will be the one to rescue him also from the hands of the Philistine. Since there was nobody else who was more fitter for the position, Saul said to David, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." Then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on his sword over the tunic and tried walking around because he was not used to them. "I cannot go in this," he said to Saul, "because I am not used to them." So he took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand and chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd's bag, and with his sling in his hand, approached the Philistine. This situation is very different from what David was used to, because he was being dressed in warrior's garments to go and fight Goliath. But he was not able even to move. God is reminding you today that you cannot fight your battle with someone else's weapon. That's why when you go for a job interview, they ask you for your own credentials, not your brother's credentials. And even though you feel unqualified, to God you are qualified and He will approve you. I'm sure Saul was surprised on how David was going to fight this battle without any armor on. David took a sling and chose 5 smooth stones, and that was it. He was ready for battle. And this is kind of strange because even when he used to fight the bears and the lions, he never used the sling. But at this moment, they were the perfect weapon for the Philistine. Meanwhile, the Philistine, with his shield bearer in front of him, kept coming closer to David. He looked David over and saw that he was little more than a boy, glowing with health and handsome, and he despised him. He said to David, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" And the Philistines cursed David by his gods. "Come here," he said, "and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and He will give all of you into our hands." As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly towards the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone. Without a sword in his hand, he struck down the Philistine and killed him. We understand that David was so confident that God is going to fight this battle for him and He will win it for him also. It doesn't really matter what they have coming against you. As long as you have God by your side, He will deliver you. How good it is when we trust in the name of the Lord. It's not always going to be easy, but when we do it, God will deliver us. And I like the way David puts it, because he says that the battle is the Lord's and it's not my battle. I pray that you will let God handle your battles for you. I pray that you will trust Him completely, because He will never forsake you. Kindly like and subscribe to this channel, and may God bless you so much. And always remember to trust in the Lord.